Alright guys, welcome back. As you can see, we got the gold leafing done. I didn't video it yesterday. Apparently I had too many videos on my phone, and so I had to empty out my phone a little bit before we do any more videoing. But right now what we're doing is we're gonna shadow in all the edges of this gold leaf, and most of the time you would pinstripe around the edge of all your gold leaf. This guy doesn't want any pinstriping, so we're not going to be doing any pinstriping, but we'll get all this stuff shadowed in, and then I've got to touch up some of the flames a little bit. But let's get at it. If you haven't seen the videos before this, go ahead and watch those videos, get caught up. I'm trying to download them. I'm getting a little bit behind. And what I'm wanting to do is pretty much just get rid of the edge of this gold. We're not wanting to do away with the gold, obviously, or you wouldn't put it on there. But he doesn't want any edges. So in order to do away with the edges without pinstriping, you got to shadow them back. So that's what we're doing right there, just shadowing that edge back. And inevitably, you're doing away with some of your gold, but that's the price. That's why I made the gold as big as I did. Take up as much of the fender as I did is because I knew I would be going up into this flame, shadowing it away from the flame, and then shadowing down into the gold. So I knew that I would be taking some of this gold away. That's why I went ahead and made it as big as I did. As you can see, hopefully, I've got water drops. So I'll be going back and touching up these flames, getting rid of that. That's what we've got. And this over here is not done. So typically what you would do is you would pinstripe around the edge of your gold to do away with the edge of the gold. Most of the time gold doesn't come out super straight. So most of the time you pinstripe it, but he didn't want any pinstriping. I'm going to set you down and see if I can level you up. Set you down right here, and maybe you can get a view of me doing the other side if I can keep my big head out of the way. Now what I've got in the brush is just automotive black, the same color black that I used as my base coat. That way there's no weird color differences. I have to be a little bit careful up here where it stretches out, or I'll get so far into the gold will pretty much disappear. That's not what we want. That's pretty much it. I may have got a little too much black on that gold, so what I'm going to do, very carefully, is I'll take a little bit of this thinner, which is the enamel reducer, and I'll go back and take some of this off. This hasn't been the smoothest paint job. You have to be careful when you do this because you'll take your gold off. And you don't want to do that. So now what I'll do is I'll go back in, fog that in, and that'll take care of that. Alright, probably what I'm going to end up doing, I can't do any clear today anyway because of the weather. So probably what I'll do is I'll come back in here and take this stripe back off and re-gold that. And we'll start back over right there, because if I do any more wiping, I'll start taking the gold off. That's not what I want to do. So for right now, on that side of the fender, we're done. We'll spin this thing around and start on this side, and then after that we'll redo some of our flames where those water spots got. See if we can get rid of some of that. Alright, let's hit this bottom real quick. Alright, up here at the top. If you remember in my other video, I was talking about how I wanted all that section with plenty of red in it. Because I knew I would be bleeding this back with my black. And I didn't want any dead spots. All right. Tough to get comfortable around these sawhorses. If my arms are too far out in front of me, I can't hold it steady. side. I will be a little bit more careful on this side. We don't want to make the same mistake we made a minute ago. Alright, I'll bring you guys right back. Alright guys, I wanted to show you something. Earlier in the video, you saw that I added too much black shadow to the gold, and it made, it didn't allow enough of the gold to show. So what I done, I took some urethane reducer, and removed the black from the gold, and inevitably you end up taking the gold with it, some of the gold with it, depending on how hard it is for the black paint to come off. So what I'll be showing you here momentarily is how to redo the gold that you removed. And so, as you can see, the areas of gold that are missing, and I believe you can see it shiny. What that is, that's the sizing that I've already added to the areas of the gold that's missing. And we'll give that about an hour. It maybe a little bit longer. It's a little cool in here, and we'll come back and check it. And if we like how it feels, then we'll shoot a video of patching this gold in. Guys, we'll be back shortly. All right, guys. We gave this this gilding size time to set up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set you down and get my gold sheets ready. I keep hitting my head up here on that. And I'm going to see if I can pull it off one-handed. I'm going to bring you along right down there with me, and we'll see if we can get this gold put back on, and then we'll be done for the day. The weather, I'll point you outside. The weather sucks right now. It's really rainy and cold, and I've got my heat on back here, but I'm not going to chance it. It just seems like, even though I did get a lot of work done today, it just seems like things are working against me. You know, it happens. You have off days. I pushed through most of it, and just to recap, we got all of our flames done. We messed our flames up with water. We redone our flames, part of them. I'll show you real quick. We had a bunch of water spots in here, and so we had to lay some new flames down there, and had some water spots over on this side, so we had to lay a few extra flame licks in there to cover that up. Luckily it worked out really good. That's the bad thing about, well, you know, typically you're not getting rained on, but my storage building, as you can see right here, has a leak, and when it rains hard it has another leak. Right here I've got a tarp over the top. Apparently, well, obviously there's a hole in the tarp. And what happened, water, I had my fender sitting right here out of the way while I was working on the other one. And water was dripping on the floor, and as it made a puddle, it bounced up and got on the flames. And that's what I was going to say. The problem with water-based paint is if you don't go ahead and clear it, then water has a horrible effect on it. And I had added, the reason I wasn't super concerned, I had added this balancing clear in with each color, each coat, hoping to seal that in. I knew there was a good chance I wasn't going to be able to clear it today. So I wanted to do what I could, you know, to sort of lock that color in. And obviously that didn't work. I've got a lot of research. You guys know that I'm not a professional airbrusher. I'm not a professional painter. I've got a lot of research that I have to do before I'm, you know, to gain some confidence. There's a few tricks I've learned. I've still got a lot to learn. But keep this video short as we can. We're already over 20 minutes. So let me set you down, and we'll get our gold out, and then I'll pick you back up and take you along with me. All right. If I can do this one-handed. So you want to be careful with these gold sheets. If I can lift it up. The only thing that holds it to this white piece of paper is static. So if you get too much wind under it, it's going to go for a ride. All right. Basically, all this will do is stick to where there is glue. And I can't even begin to tell you how thin this stuff is. We'll see if we can get it all in one spot. Alright, now see how you have little bitty black places in there. Those, apparently in the gilding world, those are called holidays. You don't want any holidays. Not in gilding anyway. So you want to make sure you cover all those with gold. And I believe we about got it. Alright, now that's what we have left off of that sheet. And guys, there's really no sense, if you're doing this stuff, there's no sense in trying to save, you know, your scrap. If you have big pieces like this, yeah, you might save that sheet. But the stuff that is extra, that's on, you know, this stuff here, ain't no sense in trying to save that. What I'm spinning around in a circle for is I'm looking for a specific brush right there. All right, this thing is very, 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 very soft. You don't want to use anything hard at all. It will leave marks in your glue. In your gold. All right, let's sweep this off. Again, we're not worried with the super straight edges. We're not worried with that because we'll be shadowing the edges like we do here. So all I wanted to do was just re-gold everything that I had taken off with the reducer. So there we go. We're done. We're done for the day. I think we screwed up about all we need to screw up for one day, and that leads me into the end of this video. Guys, you're always going to have bad days. Always going to have them. That's just part of it, especially when you're fooling with half a dozen different chemicals, the weather. It just happens. You can't get too distraught and distressed about it. The only thing getting aggravated will do is make it worse. So sometimes it's just drop it, go home, just leave it and go home, come back and fight another day. And sometimes you'll have days where everything is just hunky-dory. Everything is perfect. Couldn't ask for a better day. Today wasn't that day, but we fought through it. We got everything done this weekend we wanted to get done. We have the gold on both fenders. I may put on video, when I say bad days, man, they get rough. This rear fender actually fell as I was putting the gold glue, the sizing. As I was applying that to the rear fender, it decided to slide off of the mount here and go bouncing across the floor. Luckily, all it did was put a couple of smudges, just surface smudges. I was able to touch them up with some 600 and retouch them with black. It could have been a whole lot worse than that. I didn't shoot any videos while I was building my truck. I wasn't into YouTube. Really regret that. I wish I had have. My driver's side rear fender, I dropped it twice. The second time I dropped it actually broke the one of the brackets out of the back of it. I had to, and that really sucked because I had to re-weld that bracket, which meant that I had to re-prime and reseal the fender because the heat messed up the sealer and primer. And you just have bad days, just horrible days sometimes, and you need to recognize it and either get yourself back under control or just realize that today's not your day. And instead of causing more damage, just call it quits for the day. And that's what I did with this motorcycle. I basically went back in the house, watched a little bit of TV, relaxed a little, and came back out here and got at it. But just a little side note, the longer I do this, the more experience that I get, the less of those situations should arise, but they are still going to happen. The trick is not only knowing how to paint, the trick is also knowing how to fix mistakes. And the only way you're going to learn to fix mistakes is by making them. It doesn't make making a mistake any better. It just means that you have the experience and know how to fix it. But guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me and leave your comments below. And we'll see you on the next video. Yeah, it'll be next weekend. I think I have another day off next weekend. But we'll see you on the next one.